Hello everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I'm back with something important for you. Yes, the Merchant of Venice is the topic for today, which I have taken up for you to illustrate not lavishly but in brief for your better understanding of the play and its characters. The Merchant of Venice is a romantic comedy penned by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is regarded as the greatest writer and poet ever known in the English language, who authored world's greatest poems, dramas, and sonnets. Shakespeare's life remains mystified due to the lack of proper documentation, but a few records reveal that he was born on 23rd April 1564 at Stratford, a village upon River Avon in Warwickshire, England. And in the year 1616, on 23rd April, that was his birthday, he died at Stratford at the age of 52. Shakespeare was better known by his pseudonym, that is, the Bard of Avon. It is because he was an eminent poet of England of his time. He studied at a Stratford Grammar School, though Ben Jonson, himself a competent scholar, affirmed that Shakespeare knew small Latin and less Greek. He got married at the age of 18 to Anne Hathaway, who was 8 years older. In 1584, he left his native town for some personal reasons and shifted to London, where he kept wandering and even performed various menial offices, including that of holding horses at the stage door. By 1592, he had become popular enough to be criticized by some of the great playwrights of that era, and thus became the most popular playwright of his time. After a few years, his name appeared on the payroll of the Lord Chamberlain's company of actors who performed at the court. By 1598, his charisma had reached its peak and he prospered in worldly affairs. About 1610, Shakespeare left London for Stratford, where on 23rd April 1616 he died. There's a popular saying that nothing concludes in English without Shakespeare. So, here too, we can witness Shakespeare's shadow looming large on Elizabethan literature, both in poetry and in drama. He had equally good talent to work out in both, and the combination worked. The Merchant of Venice is an amalgamation of romance, adventure, and comedy. Therefore, it is apt to call it a romantic comedy. The Merchant of Venice is not merely a fairy tale, rather, it is full of human sentiments and passions. Moreover, Shakespeare's dramatic skill has made all his creations real and lively. Shakespeare had dramatized some social issues through this play, and those social issues have become part of a wider, timeless struggle of good and evil, love and hate, generosity and selfishness, forgiveness and resentment. In the opening scene, we find Antonio feeling melancholic when he says, "In sooth, I know not why I am sad." His sadness was enigmatic, as there was no apparent reason of his sadness, and he himself was unaware of the same. Venice was the city where lived two Christian friends, Antonio and Bassanio, and it seemed as if they had but one heart and one purse between them. Antonio, the Christian merchant, was an unwearied and kind spirit. He owned a large number of merchant ships and was a prominent figure of the city. He used to lend money to the people in need without charging any interest, whereas Shylock, the Jew who lived in the same city, was a usurer who had amassed a lot of wealth by lending money at great interest. Antonio was always detested by Shylock, not only because they belonged to different religions, but even more because Antonio was responsible for bringing down the rate of interest in Venice by helping people in distress and doing courtesies to them by lending money for no interest at all. Antonio was greatly loved by all his fellow citizens, but Bassanio, a noble gallant, was his bosom friend. Bassanio had exhausted all his wealth, whatever he had, because of his extravagant spending habits. One day, Bassanio told Antonio that he desired to repair his fortune by marrying Portia, the sole heiress to a large estate at Belmont. He was also confirmed about Portia's liking towards him through her expressions. Therefore, he intended to try his luck by taking part in the lottery of caskets at Portia's palace in Belmont. For going to Belmont and furnish himself with an appearance of a befitting lover of a rich heiress, he wanted Antonio to lend him 3,000 ducats. As Antonio did not have any cash with him at that time, wanted Bassanio to borrow it from some moneylender on the basis of the credit of his ships expected to return soon. Both the friends went to Shylock and asked the Jew to lend Bassanio 3,000 ducats upon any interest rate. Shylock, seeing himself in the position of advantage, showed his resentment, and after a long and of course obnoxious discussion and debate on the matter, thought of a wicked plan and asked him to sign a bond that if he could not repay the specified amount of money by a certain day, Antonio would forfeit a pound of flesh to be cut off from any part of his body that Shylock might like to take. Antonio was a generous and concerned friend and was keen to help Bassanio out of his love for him. But Bassanio did not want his friend to sign such hazardous bond for his sake. At last, against the advice of Bassanio, Antonio signed the bond, which was made at notary's office. Now Bassanio could equip himself well to go to Belmont, where lived his fair lady, whom he wished to marry, and that rich heiress was Portia. In the opinion of some critics, Portia stands very high among the romantic heroines in Shakespearean drama. She was wealthy and witty, lovable and adorable, and was the perfect embodiment of excellent qualities and virtues. She possessed the qualities of head and heart. She could value her father's will and would not go beyond it even when she had no liking for the suitors who had come to take part in the lottery of caskets. She seemed to be perturbed when she said, "Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world," and felt extremely helpless when she said, "I may neither choose who I would nor refuse who I dislike," are the best examples to present her as an obedient daughter who valued her father's will over her own feelings. She liked Bassanio, who was the Elizabethan ideal of a gentleman, but never showed her interest in him and tried to keep it secret even from Nerissa, her affectionate and amiable attendant. Here I wind up the summary of Act 1 of the play. In the next series, we will go to Belmont to pay our visit to Portia the beautiful, virtuous, and remarkable heroine of the play. Hope you enjoyed the summary of Act 1 along with a brief introduction of drama and the dramatist. See you in the next video of Act 2. Thank you. Keep learning and keep enjoying.